It doesn't fucking matter to them what your motives are. So when it comes to this question of motives, you have to remember that your motives matter for you, because why you're doing something has everything to do with the energy you bring to it. If you want to live your life on purpose, which I am a big fan of, your motives matter. Hi, I'm Barb Nangle. I want to welcome you to my podcast, Fragmented to Whole Life Lessons from 12-Step Recovery, where I help people heal their emotional, psychological, and spiritual wounds and make deep, lasting changes in their lives. I'm the founder and CEO of Higher Power Coaching and Consulting, LLC, where I coach people on how to develop healthy boundaries. On this podcast, I share my experience, strength, and hope from recovery. I don't support or endorse any particular 12-Step Recovery Fellowship, and I don't claim to speak for any particular 12-Step Fellowship. I also don't believe that 12-Step Recovery is the only way to recover. You might need additional help. My hope is that you'll find my words concretely helpful in improving your life, whether you're in recovery or not. This is episode 151, Why Your Motives Matter for You, but not to other people. One of the most important questions I've learned to ask myself when trying to decide what is the right thing for me to do, or what is the healthy thing for me to do, or what is the right boundary for me to set is, what are my motives? And since I've started asking myself that question, it's occurred to me that when it comes to ourselves, our motives really matter. It makes all the difference in the world why you're doing something. But when it comes to other people, they don't give a shit about your motives. They only care about your actions. So here's an example. I used to go to a church that a lot of people fled to after growing up in other religions that made them feel guilty and shamed and like they were going to go to hell and all that stuff. And so those people came to that church because they were going away from something. They had a whole bunch of baggage and they were trying to get rid of it. Whereas when I went to that church, I was attracted to that church. I was going toward something. So my motivation was to go towards something that I was seeking. I really wanted to go there. And I didn't go there to get away from something else. So the experience I had in that church was very different than the people who were going there to get away from something. They were constantly on the lookout for things that reminded them of their old church, and they wanted to put the hammer down on that stuff. Whereas the things I saw made me think, oh my God, that's such a beautiful ritual. The thing about motives is that when it comes to other people, your motives don't fucking matter to them. Nobody gives a shit why you're doing something. They only give a shit about what you're doing. If you're donating money to a homeless person on the corner, they don't care if you're doing it because you feel guilty or out of the goodness of your heart or because it looks good to other people. All they care about is that you're giving them money. Or if you say something to someone and your motive is to be helpful, but they feel insulted and belittled and put down, it doesn't fucking matter to them what your motives are. So when it comes to this question of motives, you have to remember that your motives matter for you, because why you're doing something has everything to do with the energy you bring to it. If you want to live your life on purpose, which I am a big fan of, your motives matter. Living on purpose is what I talk to all my boundaries clients about. The reason that we want to learn how to set boundaries is because we want to learn how to live on purpose. Well, if that's you, you need to be clear about what your purpose is or what your values are, because your purpose is really to live in alignment with your values so you can have integrity. Once you know what your values are, what's important to you, then you can be clear about what your motives are so that you can live up to your values. When you do that, then you will feel really good about what you're doing and why you're doing it. And it won't matter so much what other people think. However, your motives don't matter one bit to the other people. What they see is your actions. Even if you tell them your motives, even the purest motives won't take away the impact of your behavior if your actions harmed them in some way. Your actions are what matter to most people. My first sponsor said to me, it doesn't matter what you think, it doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter what you believe, it doesn't matter what you feel. What matters is what you do. And this is because all those other things don't create results in the world. That was her way of helping me to understand what the act as if principle means. That is such a core principle of recovery. This is where we act our way into right thinking. That same sponsor used to tell me all the time, action, 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 action. This is a program of action. And she would also say, you can't think your way into right acting, but you can act your way into right thinking. You know that saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions? Well, it's a perfect illustration of why your motives don't matter to other people. It doesn't matter to the other person that you were, quote, just trying to help. If you knock them off a ladder and they broke their leg is still broken, and that is what matters to them. It doesn't matter to the other person that you, quote, didn't mean to be a racist, but they felt insulted, put down, excluded, or belittled by you. They've still experienced racism again and again and again by people who, quote, didn't mean it. What matters is how other people receive your actions. Your motives matter for you because of your own integrity. And the way we talk about living in integrity and 12-step recovery is we say we want to practice these principles in all our affairs. If you want to be a good and decent person, if you want to live your life on purpose, which means living in alignment with your values, then your motives are so important to your actions. Why are you doing the thing? Are you doing it so that people will like you? Are you doing it because you want to be a person of integrity? Are you doing it because God wants you to be a good person? Are you doing it because of the way it will look to other people? Are you doing it to, quote, pay your dues? You get to decide, but remember, your motives don't matter to other people. They just care if the result of your actions feel good and kind to them. I was recently reminded by a friend that when I first started recovery, I didn't feel lovable. I almost can't believe that I used to feel that way and that I kind of forgot something so profound because I truly love myself now. And I want that for everybody. If you don't love yourself, there's literally nothing that can make up for that. I created something exclusively for my private clients since many of them don't love themselves. And I've now opened up my private vault to share it with up to 10 people individually. It's called the Self-Love Sprint. You'll grow to love yourself and truly feel worthy so you can stop saying yes when you really want to say no, stop neglecting yourself and putting everyone else first, stop saying all kinds of nasty shit to yourself. That is not what people who love themselves and feel deserving do. You'll stop being afraid that others will think that you're selfish for taking time to care for yourself. This is also for you if you don't really know who you are because you've always been such a fucking chameleon. Go to higherpowercc.com/love sprint. Remember, I'm only offering 10 of these, so don't wait. If you like this podcast, and I'm guessing you did or you wouldn't still be listening, then you're gonna love the other things I have to offer. If you'd love pre-release podcast scripts and episodes before anyone else gets them, or If you'd love access to content from my private vault that I developed exclusively for my private clients, which is like having a work session with me without me actually being there, go to patreon.com/higherpowercoaching. There are 3 tiers ranging from as low as $4 up to $24 a month. You'll also love my weekly newsletter, Friday Fragments, which has content very similar to the podcast. You can check it out at fridayfragments.news. That's fridayfragments.news. Please like and subscribe to my podcast on your favorite podcast outlet. I'd also love it if you'd leave a review, which you can do either in the show notes or on Apple Podcasts. It really helps other people find my podcast so they can get the benefits you've gotten from listening. If someone came to mind when you listen to this particular episode, please share it with them. And my favorite place to hang out on social media is Instagram. I'm at Higher Power Coaching. Please DM me there. I'd love to hear what you got from this episode. I run group and private coaching programs on building healthy boundaries. Whether you need help with boundaries in your personal, professional, or romantic life, I can help. Head on over to barbchat.net, where you can hop onto my calendar for a free 30-minute Better Boundaries consultation. My ideal client is someone who is ripe for change. If that's you, I would love to work with you. My goal with all my work is to help you make lasting changes in your life like I've made deep, lasting changes in my life. Remember, it's never too late to recover. No one is beyond hope, and healing is possible. Thanks for listening.